Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Alibaba Cloud. In this session, we will be going to discuss about the Mongo to Apsara MongoDB migrations. So Apsara is a kind of umbrella under which all the database products of Alibaba comes. So we will discuss why you need to move to the Mongo of ApsaraDB and what are the various advantages. And then also we will be discussing how you can move it through the migration tools and what are the best practices. And to my introduction, my name is Ankit Kapoor, and I am a database solution architect in Alibaba Cloud. And I am a database geek, and I love exploring various kind of databases, ranging from OLTP, OLAP, and NoSQLs. And I will be more than happy if you can come to our portal, and if you need any help in designing your database architecture, and if you need help to migrate from your current architecture to the cloud architecture, then we'll be more than happy to help you out. So let's see what this session is mainly for and for whom this session is intended for. So basically this is for the DBAs and the architects. So DBAs knows when to upgrade their environment from one place to another place and what are the various advantages. And then the architect while they're designing the complete applications or the database architecture. So let's see what are the various agendas for today's session. So I will be showing you like all the products which we have in the Alibaba. So I will not be going into the details of everyone because this is mainly focusing on the migration part. And then we comes to why you should choose for Apsara MongoDB and what are the different practices. And then we will discuss manual versus managed migrations, what are the differences, and then in the end we will be discussing migration Mongo to Apsara Mongo, which is a kind of demo one. And also I will cover MongoDB 4.4, what is new there, and why we should move to the new version. So this is a kind of portfolio we have. You can see we have different databases. One is Cloud Native Engines, which is designed by the Alibaba itself. And then we have open source engines and commercial and NoSQL engines, and then the OLAP part. And then comes tools and the utilities. So if you go into the Cloud Native Engines, let me open the marker. So if you see the Cloud Native Engines, we have PolarDB for Oracle, MySQL, and PG. So it's a kind of compute and storage layer decoupled. Then we have open source engines, again, MariaDB, Postgres, and MySQL. And again, to be very specific, like we call Redis in the Alibaba, we have designed our own, which we call it Tear, which is much more advanced and much more performance enhanced than the native one. And then we have time series databases also. Then in the tools and utilities, you can see we have different types of migration tools, DTS and ADAM, which is for different purpose. That is DTS is database transmission and services. And then the ADAM, which has been primarily used for Oracle purposes. And then we have DMS, that is data management services, and DAS, data autonomy services. So let's keep this session focused on the migration part for the MongoDB. So if you see, ApsaraDB for MongoDB comes with strategic partnership with MongoDB. So when I say strategic partnership, I mean is that if you go into some other cloud vendors, you cannot have the MongoDB as a managed services. So if you're going for some AWS or for Google or for Microsoft Azure, you can use their only infrastructure. And then you have to deploy the Atlas part of the MongoDB, which is not a managed services. But in the Alibaba Cloud, we are the only vendor which provides the managed services. And what managed services includes here is that if you see out of box, reduce operation and maintenance cost. So the thing is, you don't need to worry about your maintenance of your MongoDB instances. So if you want to scale your MongoDB instances, and if you want that someone should be monitoring your databases if it is going down or what is their health. So we are doing the monitoring part also. So you can reach to us if you are using MongoDB instances, and if you have any problems, then we will help you out. Then it is elastic scalable. So by scalable, it means that if you are already using a MongoDB instance and you want to scale their underlying memory or underlying storage part, it's a one click away. Basically, in the native one, you need to take the downtime and then you will be increasing the storage space. But in the managed part, you don't need to worry about all these things. Then high availability. In MongoDB, we have different kind of I can say additions. One is coming with the replica and one is coming with the shard. Each of these methods, there is a secondary node which will be acting as a kind of standby node. So again, then we have point in time backup and restore. So basically, point in time backup and restore is so like for example, if you want to take a backup until a specified time, then you can take the backup from the managed services. You don't need to use the Mongo dump or the Mongo restore. And with the help of this, you can create your another Mongo instance. Then from the security point of view, it is SSL plus TTE full stack encryption. And then about the security, which is audit and logging. So whenever you want to see which user came at what time and what type of queries he executed, you can see it from the console itself. And then the monitoring. You can monitor your entire MongoDB health. What is the CPU usage? What is the incoming traffic? What is the primary memory usage? And then the other aspects also. And then the Cloud DBA automatic diagnostic. It's a different kind of feature which helps you in managing your databases. So it can give you various kind of like benefits or like ideas that okay, that you need to create more shards and you need to create more chunks, or you need to increase the chunk size, or the various similar things. So it's a kind of automatic DBA part. Now, before going further, what's new in 4.4? So basically, I haven't included everything, just few of the things to give the highlights, like why we should move to a newer version as soon as possible. And yes, one more thing, when we say the strategic partnership, I also mean that whenever MongoDB introduced their new versions, then Alibaba Cloud are the first vendor where the new version comes the first time. So that's also one of the great benefit. Then we talk about the hedge rate. So the hedge rate is like, for example, like if you are sending reads, so like if your Mongo's router is sending the reads to your shard, so from wherever the read response is fast, it will come from that part. So that will reduce the latency for the read purpose. And then we have the missing shard key fields. So missing shard key fields is like if you have any document in which some keys are null, so instead of showing the null value, it won't be showing the that particular field. So if ID X, so like let's say if you have two fields in a document which says ID null and name Ankit, so it will only show the name Ankit. Then we have refining a shard key. So basically, if you already have a shard key, player ID 1, let's say, and due to this you are facing some kind of jumbo chunks, or in which your shards cannot be split. So it's better to use, or better to refine your shard key by suffixing a one more field. If you can see here, so the new one will be player ID and the level 1 is again a new field. So you can eliminate those things. Then the streaming replication has been introduced in 4.4, which helps you to migrate your op logs continuously to the secondaries part, which will again help you to reduce the latencies, to reduce the stale reads. And then initial sync source preference. So up till now, whenever your secondary wants to sync up with the primary part, the election comes or it goes from the inside part. So MongoDB process was responsible for selecting the source one. But now the user have this thing in his own hand. If he wants that the secondary should be a sync from some specific node, then he can mention that. So that's new features which is coming in the 4.4 version. Now, manual migrations versus managed migrations. So in the manual migrations, you need a downtime. So think like you have a replica clusters, and then if you want to migrate it from your on-premise to the cloud, so firstly you need to down your secondary node first, and then like migrate it to the platform, or then once it is up, then you need to use your primary one and change the like application to the primary part. So that's a very cumbersome process. So you cannot do one migration all at once. So you need to do the migration in a various chunks. But in the DTS, that is the data transmission services, you don't need to go from all of these things. Then in the manual migration, you cannot do the incremental data migrations. So like for example, one is fixed, you need to create your various replication topologies, only then you can do it. But in DTS, it comes automatically that you can do the incremental data migrations with oplogs. Then we have use old methods for data importing. Again, for migrating, you have to use Mongo dump or Mongo restore. But here it is fast. Then it is unstable and efforts are required. So you need a DBA, which is doing every kind of task for you. But in this one, DTS, it is easy to use, good in performance. So you don't need anyone, or you don't need any good expertise. So with the help of just console, you can migrate your whole data. It is also easy to migrate from MMAP-v1 engine, which is now going to obsolete, to the WireTiger engine, which is now default. So if you are using the MMAP-v1 version on your on-premises, it is very easy to move to the WireTiger. You don't need to replace your binaries, and you don't need to upgrade your binaries. That's all part has been eliminated. Now, before starting the demo, if you can see, basically DTS comes in two different formats. One is full data migration, which means whatever you have at the moment, you can migrate completely to your destination or to your cloud MongoDB. Then we have incremental data migration. So once your full data migration has been completed, you can start the incremental data migration. So whatever you will insert on your source, it will be visible on the incremental, or it will be visible on the destination part. So you can also see what is going on, what is the evaluation, and how many, if there is any kind of incompatibilities. So that is quite visible in the console itself of the DTS. Then we have databases, collection, and index. So for the full data migrations, it happens at the database, collection, and the index level. And then for the incremental data migrations, we need oplogs, which helps us to move the data in a live manner or in a syncing manner. So I think we should start from the demo part, how we can migrate your Mongo to Apsara MongoDB.